Welcome to the Computer Literacy Center's online instructional video on file management in Microsoft Windows. Good file management practices are essential for us using a computer and allow us to save time, be more organized, and prevent data loss. My name is Alex Ward, and I will be walking us through this tutorial. In this video, we will use File Explorer to create, delete, and edit files and folders, organize files and folders, and locate and move items stored in the computer. Let's get started. Let's begin by defining what folders and files are. Just like a folder in the real world, folders on the computer are storage spaces that contain files and even other folders. Files are digital resources on a computer, such as an image or document. We will use the File Explorer application on our computer. This program facilitates simple folder and file management. Typically, the File Explorer application is at the bottom of our screen in the taskbar. It should appear as a yellow folder with a blue clip. Click on File Explorer to open it. If we can't find File Explorer, we use the search icon in the bottom left corner of our screen to find it. The search icon resembles a magnifying glass or a circle with a diagonal line attached. Next, we need to type File Explorer into the search bar and select the first option that appears. Alternatively, we hold down the Windows button, which appears as the Windows logo, and press the E key. In my case, File Explorer is at the bottom of my screen in the taskbar. When we open the program, we access the main page. If you are not currently in the This PC section, click This PC in the left menu to access it. Here, we observe our default folders including 3D objects, desktop, documents, downloads, music, pictures, and videos. Additionally, there is the Devices and Drives section that displays the computer's storage areas, including any connected USB drives. We also have the Quick Access and Address bar, which we will explore later in the video. Let's create a new folder. To do this, we open the Documents folder by double-clicking it. We should keep all of our projects in this location. Once inside, right-click on an empty spot to open a pop-up menu and then hover the cursor over New. Another menu appears with a list of objects we can create. Select the top one, Folder. Now, there is a new folder in our documents with the words New Folder highlighted in blue, which means that the text is selected for us to change. Replace the default words by typing the new name, our folder, and press the Enter key. We have just created a new folder inside our Documents folder. If we want to change the name of our item, right-click on it, and in the pop-up menu that appears, find the Rename option towards the bottom and click it. Now, with the old name highlighted, let's rename it by typing Word for the new name, meaning this is where we will store our Microsoft Word project files. If we no longer need a file or folder on our computer, we should delete it. First, let's click once to choose the Word folder. Next, right-click the folder to bring up a pop-up menu. At the bottom, select the Delete option. We just removed the newly generated folder. Once we remove an object, we send it to the computer's recycle bin. The recycle bin is on our computer's desktop. We'll minimize our File Explorer and open the recycle bin by double-clicking. Once we are inside, we see the folder that we deleted. If we accidentally remove something, we can access the recycle bin and retrieve it. We'll select the Word folder that we deleted, then right-click it. The first option in the pop-up window will be Restore. Select this to bring our deleted folder back to its original location. Maintaining a tidy workspace and quickly finding objects depends on our ability to organize our files into appropriate folders. We'll do this by creating additional folders for Excel and PowerPoint. Now we repeat the steps we learned previously to create two folders, one named Excel and the other named PowerPoint. Now that we have some folders, we'll use them in the future to save our various project files throughout the rest of this course. One of the core features of File Explorer is the ability to locate items. As mentioned earlier, the Quick Access and Address bar have a role in this process. The Quick Access bar displays our most recent locations, and we can even pin our folders to appear in the Quick Access bar. To do this, first left-click on the Word folder to select it, then right-click on it and choose the Pin to Quick Access option. Now that folder will always be visible in our Quick Access bar. This feature is helpful for frequently accessed folders. To unpin a folder, we select the folder in the Quick Access menu and click Unpin instead. Another way to navigate is by using the address bar. We'll open the Word folder and focus on the address bar at the top. It shows us the directory path or the route we took to reach our current location. In this case, we are inside the Word folder, contained within the Documents folder, which is inside the This PC section. From inside the Word folder, we'll use the address bar to navigate back to the Documents folder by clicking Documents. In addition, we can also use the back button to return to the previous location. Let's do this now so we arrive back in our Word folder. We may view the precise place of the file on the hard drive by clicking on the space to the right of the file path. If we know the file path of a specific file or folder, we can type it into the address bar. However, this is typically a more inconvenient way to navigate. Sorting our files and folders enables us to locate and organize items within our system. Let's sort out our folder by returning to Documents and right-clicking on an empty area to bring up a menu. Now, let's hover over the Sort By option, which will present a list of ways to sort our resources. These options include name, date modified, type, size, and tags. Additionally, we can sort them in ascending or descending order. When we select the More button, a new menu with a lengthy list of sorting options will display. Let's utilize this technique to order the entries in our Documents folder by descending order. Now our items are sorted, with Word being the first item listed and Excel being the last. To move items between folders, we'll utilize one of two methods, copy and paste or cut and paste. Cut and paste is typically more practical as it avoids duplicating the objects we want to move, unlike copy and paste. To cut and paste, select our PowerPoint folder and right-click it to access the pop-up menu. Then select the Cut option. Alternatively, we can use the keyboard shortcut Ctrl-X to cut. Once we cut the file or folder, its icon will appear gray, indicating it's in the clipboard, ready to be pasted elsewhere. Now, open the desktop folder and right-click in a blank spot. Click on the Paste option in the menu or press Ctrl-V to paste the PowerPoint folder into a new location. If we navigate back to the Documents folder by pressing the back button, we will see that our PowerPoint folder is no longer there, and now if we look at our desktop by minimizing our window, we notice that our PowerPoint folder is here instead. We have successfully cut it from the Documents folder and moved it to the Desktop folder. Alternatively, we can duplicate items by copying them. To do this, let's navigate back to the Desktop folder and select, then right-click on the PowerPoint folder. Then, click Copy or use the keyboard shortcut Ctrl-C. Next, let's open the Document folder again and paste the folder here by right-clicking in a blank section of the window and selecting Paste or using Ctrl-V. Now that we have our PowerPoint folder back in the Documents folder, delete the PowerPoint folder on the desktop since we don't need it. We were using it as an example. A firm understanding of the file system and how to organize your files is vital when working with computers. In this video, we utilized File Explorer to create and delete our folders. We also restored deleted objects and used the File Explorer to navigate to certain items, sorted items in our directory, and moved and copied items between folders. If we understand how the computer's file system works, we can handle our files more efficiently. If you want to learn more about other computer literacy topics, please visit our website at weber.edu/clc.